It was shaping up to be just another grandiose Lady Gaga spectacle, the opening night of the pop superstar's highly anticipated Chromatica Ball world tour launching before a sold-out crowd of devoted Miami Little Monsters. But when the avant-garde theatrics suddenly pivoted into an extended full-frontal evisceration of Meghan Markle, the embattled Duchess of Sussex found herself on the receiving end of mainstream culture's most merciless inquisition yet. From the moment Gaga emerged resplendent in an intricately beaded royal blue leather bodice clearly modeled after Queen Elizabeth's signature silk robe ensembles, it became evident that the evening's thematic centerpiece would involve a reckoning with Britain's most polarizing aristocratic apostate. What transpired over the next 2 hours represented a masterclass of high-camp deconstructionism through which the pop diva flayed, dissected, and utterly annihilated every falsehood and sanctimony comprising the Markles' incongruous public identity. Oh, what's this now? It seems we have a guest of honor gracing us plebs with her regal presence. Gaga declared in a faux aristocratic British patois after opening the set with a string of art popera hits designed to inflame the audience's frenzies. A fellow ethnic ambiguous layabout who's decided to spend her hereditary fortunes regaling the ungratefully benighted with endless Munchausen psychodrama over being denied some gaudy piece of embroidered horse rag. With those opening pyrotechnic salvos lobbed from a towering mirrored rhinestone perspex riser, the evening's trajectory became immediate clear. This would be a night of unsparingly patrician mockery aimed right at the Duchess's jugular from pop's reigning supervisor of wokesplaining gone awry. From her perspex throne before a gargantuan LED screen rapidly cycling landscapes of Baroque English gardens juxtaposed against graffiti-stained Los Angeles underpasses, Gaga spared no indictment of Markle's litany of perceived contradictions and failings. Look at this insufferable little mescla trying to pass herself off as an underdog avatar of marginalization by claiming she's risen from nothing. As if 2-bit Hallmark movie residuals and the occasional, "My culture ain't your spicy boudoir spread costume," W magazine print piece remotely qualifies as starting out less privileged than a Bulgarian truck stop traffic maiden. The singer howled between towering vocal runs and choreographic breakdowns with her stable of nimble-bodied thralls. Even by Lady Gaga's historically confrontational standards of shock appropriation through which virtually no cultural boundary remains unvaulted or sacred cow unmocked, the evisceration of Meghan represented a scorched earth campaign of coruscating intensity. For over 2 hours, a procession of meme-inspired projected backdrops emblazoned with allusions to every bombshell and controversy sired throughout the Duchess's trials and tribulations provided set dressing for a seemingly extemporaneous master's thesis on deconstructing identity politics idolatry. From the evening's outset, the trajectory rarely wavered. Gaga appeared hell-bent on dismantling every tiresome pretense animating the Markle signature brand of resilient wokesplaining through a combination of winking sarcasms, barbed taunts, and grand dollops of high-camp-laced scorn. Hardly any fronts or allegations went unparroted or exaggerated beyond recognizability under the floodlights of her blistering assessments. Oh dear, not those sad puppy eyes again from this impish little tragic mulatto shampoo assistant trying to gaze-rape the audience into misty titters of self-congratulation because the gilded albino rape monastery told her precious moments figurine hybrid kinders wouldn't receive their allotted paste jewelry courtesies. The pop supernova cackled through sneering arpeggio riffs in a transparent mocking of Markle's signature big-eyed pathos solicitations. As images of the Duchess's well-publicized, humble ramen noodle origin story, flashing behind her lithe dancing coterie against a papier-mâché backdrop depicting a devastated South Central food desert tableau, Gaga doubled down on evocations painting Markle as an obliviously privileged racial tourist. Oh yes. Nothing tugs at the heartstrings quite like this little underprivileged Hollywood Eliza Doolittle getting by through her own humble bootstrapping out on the mean strolls of Anaheim, dreaming of the day she'd escape the horrors of Arby's drive-through windows, the singer screeched between dizzying wardrobe reveals. Someone fetch this prima donna a bedazzled Oscar so she can finally get recognized for her uplifting portrayal of the contemporary colored femme struggle. With a symphony of glitzy costume levers and contortionist contemporary dance routines intensifying into convulsive climaxes evoking Baroque European torture machinery on the LED displays, Gaga eventually reached a crescendo of dismantling virtually every shibboleth underpinning the Duchess's self-styling as an anointed leader of the modern racial reparations zeitgeist. On the surface depicting a high-energy whirlwind of disorienting camp and celebrity idolhood satire, the evening's elaborate cabaret rapidly accelerated into a postmodern interrogation of the Markle persona's deeper socio-cultural functions and resonances. Just what exactly is this duplicitous little moppet working so tirelessly to emancipate her global foxtrot empire building from? Some last remaining vestiges of a stodgy protocol where basic common courtesies and professional expectations supersede her delusional main character syndrome? The pop diva snarled at one peak proclamation. No, for all this childish stamping of barely pedicured footsies, this was never about some uplifting womanist uprising against antiquated patriarchies. It was a one-dimensional thirst panther just throwing a sad snit that the world wouldn't bend more obsequiously to her vulgar wealth-marchin', American grifter routine. As the blistering interrogation of the Markle idolatry phenomenon gathered in fusillade intensity, Gaga appeared to cast herself in the role of a kind of celebrity truth crusader, an emancipator of the common sensibilities from the delirious cloud of pseudo-inspirational identitarian branding permeating the current culture. For all the flamboyant costuming and campy production exaggeration, it became increasingly evident that the pop superstar emerged possessed by something approximating righteous fury at the mere notion of Meghan's polarizing public identity. Just look at this insufferable little LARPer attempting to recast herself as our generation's Winnie Mandela by garnering sympathy over perceived maltreatments at the hand of the old racist country club simply for being too ethnic and vocally woke for their outmoded highbrow sensibilities. Gaga boomed between guitar riffs echoing frenetic punk defiances. No amount of soaking in bathwater, staged photographs or starvation diet to make her skeletal countenance more profoundly melanated will hide the truth. She's a grifter through and through whose sole talent involves smearing herself in the aesthetics of resistance while embodying the most transparently cynical of identitarian capitalism. With such cascading proclamations fueling the surrounding animus of high camp disassembly, the evening's overarching mission proved less about pure spectacle and more a concentrated effort to thoroughly obliterate an iconic feminine figure the pop diva seemed to find emblematic of modern socio-cultural decay. From repeated declarations characterizing the Duchess as everything from an uppity biracial pickaninny using struggle iconography as starving artist street cred, to a insatiably fame-peckered starlet leaving grifter Louboutin calfskin boot prints over the graves of America's resilient invisible woman, the volleys achieved nuclear intensity. Even as Gaga powered through an explosive onslaught of hits spanning projects like The Fame and Born This Way, the spectacle refused to yield from its sustained focus on Markle identity deconstruction catharsis. Like an extended avant-garde exorcism ritual, the flamboyant star appeared compelled to cycle through virtually every archetypal accusation against the Duchess, self-deluded racial usurper, hollowed-out cult of personality succubus, and ultimately an embodiment of parasitic